Howdy.
Okay. Howdy, partner. So, for anyone who's choosing to watch this video right now, you are going to be disappointed because there is no theme today. It is a wacky Wednesday, no theme. We're lazy, so we're just going to go right into it and just tell you random stories about our lives and our engagement with each other, but not like a relationship. And I mean, I guess sort of platonic relationship engagement. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure.
And I'm looking up a man making himself orgasm without touching himself.
Did I ever tell you the story where I got drive-by shot at?
No.
Okay, like I'll just cut to, or I'll. They weren't real. They weren't like actual firearms, so I'll say that right away. But I still got shot at, and it was technically a gun. But so I was going to. This is when I was going to school in Oshkosh, like 4 or 5 years ago now.
Not to interrupt you, but I found the video. It's called Tantric Orgasm in under 1 minute.
Under a minute. I'm impressed.
Oh, yeah. We'll send this to you later for research. Okay. Continue with your drive-by shooting.
Yeah, so this is when I was going to school like 4 or 5 years ago in Oshkosh, and it was at night, and I was walking behind. Would have been Horizon, like one of the dorm buildings, and I can't remember what they said, but it was like dark out, and I was walking by myself. And I don't know if they just like yelled "hey" or just like whatever. They yelled something and got my attention, and all of a sudden I turn, and there's just like this old like beat up like, I don't know, like Honda or like Toyota or something, just like a typical like beat up like college car. And there's a guy like sitting on the window, like like his legs were inside the car, but he was like sitting up, and his torso is out. And I'm assuming it was an airsoft gun. It probably wasn't a BB gun, otherwise it would have hurt a lot more. But also I think it was like fall winter time, so like it was cold, so it hurt no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of a sudden this dude just like bop, 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 shot me. And I'm like, and this is like, I'm walking like down like in the middle of the city. So it was just weird. It was just such a quick like 5-10 second encounter, but it was just like, I was more confused than anything. Like, it was just like I got hit like on this side because I was walking like this way, and the car was driving like this. And yeah, it was just like a quick 5-10 second thing. But I'm like, did I just get drive-by shot at? Like, it was such a weird instance, but it was just like why? It was like concerning as to like I didn't like see a plate, and it was too dark out to see what kind of car it was. I didn't even like tell authorities about it because I'm just like what? Like,
what am I gonna say? Like, just show them your wealth. Be like, see that? I'm a victim.
Yeah,
they're just gonna be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I didn't care enough. Obviously, if I had like got injured or like, I don't know,
cut into the eyeball or something.
Yeah,
walk around looking like a pirate for the rest of your life.
Yeah, so that was my like drive-by shooting instance.
I mean, I've told you the story, I'm pretty sure, about when I was on my way to my grandma's when I was a kid. It was either for Easter or Thanksgiving. Two guys pulled up and pointed guns at my family. They just leaned out the window with a shotgun. And my mom slammed on the brakes. Because, like, what happened originally was they threw, like, garbage out their window and it smashed the front end of our car. We're like, obviously my dad's like, no. So he's like, drive up there. Drives up there, and all of a sudden they're pointing a fucking shotgun at us. And it's like, okay, back up. Hit the brakes! And then, so they pulled off, and they took an exit. Well, we called the cops on them, and yeah, they got arrested. I guess they had like 3 or 4 guns that were not in like cases, and they had a bunch of ammo on them. So,
yeah, where was that? Was that when you were living in Green Bay?
That was on my way to Green Bay. That's when I wasn't living in Green Bay yet. That's when I still lived in Coleman.
Oh shit! So wait, this happened like on the highway?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. I know, right? Like, why? And on a holiday, too. It was either Thanksgiving or Easter. I think it might have been Thanksgiving, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, like, why? Like, I don't understand the attitude some people take about stuff. Like, you're not gonna scare us. You're just gonna get yourself arrested. Like, you're an idiot. Like, we got your plate number.
Yeah, at least if you're gonna do it, at least cover your tracks, or just don't be dumb. Period.
Yeah, and just don't do that shit. But yeah, no, it was wild. Um, Speaking of like drive-by situations, I was just talking to someone the other day, and she was telling me a story about, I guess, like in Chicago, she heard about this. Like, some old lady just got piss thrown on her. Someone just drove by and like threw a cup of piss on her. Like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, like no, that's so like I don't know what some people think and what they're no, they don't obviously, but it's just like what the fuck is going on there? But yeah, no, just going into like since we're going on full bore story time, let me just think. Uh,
Like I've never done. That reminded me of something I've always like when I was young. I always thought about doing, but obviously I didn't because I knew I'd get in trouble. Was just to like like on the overpass by Coleman. So there's like two overpasses. There's the one on Q, and otherwise the one like by like the Shell. To just like get a 5 gallon bucket full of like shit and like dump it over the overpass onto somebody's car. Just to like think of like what would be going through their head. You're just driving and all of a sudden your windshield is just full of shit. Like
dude,
obviously I never did it because it's like for
no,
one they could crash. Two, if there's enough impact it could like smash their windshield, and then obviously like we could get in trouble. And it's just like, but it's like always those dumb like instances of like I can't remember what it's called. There's like a name for it. It's like the idea of like standing on a ledge and it's like, oh, what if I jumped off? Or like as you're driving, what if I turned into oncoming traffic?
I know
It's
what you're
stuff that
talking about.
it's stuff that it's like a very, you know what the outcome would be, which is why you would never do it.
And it's such a weird sense. Like I feel like that's the thing. There's a lot of people that have these bad feelings or thoughts. Like, and it's not something you'd ever act on. Like, I think everyone is capable of horrible thoughts. I've never met a person who I can't see not thinking something bad at least once in their life, and that's what sets people apart from others. It's if you choose to act on those things. Some people don't have the cognitive ability to control themselves. Others just choose to blatantly be terrible people,
Yeah.
and
Well, like you
and
said, obviously, like at some point in time, everyone's ever at least once thought about severely harming themselves or another person.
oh yeah, definitely.
Like it's something that's come across everybody's mind, whether it's like thoughts of depression or hatred, or like that thought I was just talking about now of just like you see a car coming and it's just like, oh, what if I just cranked my wheel and just went into oncoming traffic? So it's just like I feel like everybody's had those kind of thoughts of like, what if I did this? But like you said, it's the it's the people who actually go through with it that are set apart differently,
Oh
which is
yeah,
weird because it's like in a lot of cases like your thoughts are equivalent to your actions, at least in like a biblical sense. Like um fuck, what's it called, lust. Like they say, oh, if you look at a girl and think and look at her with lust,
if
you've
you covet
already
thy neighbor's wife,
yeah, you've already committed adultery or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, coveting is not even that following through with the action. It's the thought that you're lusting towards your neighbor's wife, which ergo just means that anyone other's significant partner, and therefore you committed a sin at that point. It's like, no, that's not. People do that stuff now. Like obviously not all the time. Like obviously you people have better respect for each other. If you respect someone enough, you obviously don't even think about you think of their partner as like an extension of them at that point.
Yeah.
And that's just how like that's where I think on a lot of those things. Like, will I recognize someone's attractiveness? Well, yeah, of course. I'm not going to dismiss that, but I'm going to do it in such a respectful way to where it's like, dude, look at you. You're a stud. You know, like just be like, you totally pulled a beautiful woman. I'm so happy for you. It's not like oh, I want to take her from this
Yeah.
person. Like never. And
I feel
this
like the
is the
important
thing.
way to look at that too is like, but looking at people like that, both like male and female. Like obviously we're both guys, we're both straight guys, so we're attracted to women. But there's times like I look at a dude, I'm like, oh, that dude's got it going. Like, good for him. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like it it's not shameful. It doesn't make you
No.
gay. It's just like if I ever like hang out with like you or like friends, or I just see some random guy in the street and it's like, fuck, that guy looks good. Like,
Yeah, oh, dude, and honestly, like I compliment guys all the fucking time. Like I go like, especially with like couple friends when I hang out with them, I'm always known as like the guy friend who's like trying to steal the guy from the girl. Like I'm always the one who just like kid like balances on that gay bro line where it's just like, yeah, no, he's coming home with me tonight. Like
yeah,
just like around like that, and it's and I love it because it's just, for one, it's a comfortability thing. It's like no one can ever define who you are except for you, unless you deny what you're doing. Like if you were like, say you you go out and you punch someone in the face and you're like, oh, I'm a pacifist, I've never hit anyone in my life, and you're like, I saw you punch that guy. Like,
yeah,
like no, it's not how that works. But like if you're just very comfortable, like if you're just like light flirting but in a joking manner, it doesn't define who you are. And if even if you were like literally like, yeah, no, like this guy's hot, look at his ass, but you know you like women, and no one can tell you you don't like like,
yeah.
just like no one can tell. Like I've changed my standpoint on the whole gay thing several times over. Like I'm never gonna tell a gay person they're not gay. Like you love who you want to love, do it. Like, and that's the thing. Like I support LGBTQ. I don't expect every other person in my life to do that, but I'm also a kind of person who's just like, if you're gonna love who you love, and it doesn't impact me in any financial, ethical, or like any kind of manner, and like you literally live your life and I live my life, and you're not doing anything illegal, who am I to say or tell you what to do? And then
Hmm.
that calls into a whole other question of legal, like the legal system. Like what? Well, how far should the legal system go? Because I know there was that whole, and like I don't mean to get like dark with this, but like there's a movement of pedophiles who are trying to attach themselves to the LGBTQ community, and it's like, no, you are not the same. Quit doing that. If you want to be with children, you are disgusting. And if anyone out there who watches our videos was ever even entertained the thought, stop fucking watching our videos right now. I don't want you enjoying our content. So I just had to get that out there. So
Um, I feel like one big thing too with like as far like is like I'm supportive like LGBTQ as well, and like I've had like a few like gay or bi or lesbian friends like in well, not in like high school because we were just going to a
small
small high school.
town,
Yeah,
yeah.
small town. It's
Oh,
either
you
every
know, a lot of those guys are secretly gay in that town. They just don't want to
yeah.
admit it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying is that it's such a small town that everybody knows everybody. So if there were anybody, they kept it to themselves, which is
Yeah,
fine. Obviously, if they can live their lives and not like have it eat away at them, good for them. But yeah, like over the years, I've had friends a part of that community, and especially being a resident advisor when I was in college, and like basically expanding my vocabulary and knowledge of that area. It's like I always hate like the stigma of um like somebody points out like a gay couple. I'm like, oh yeah, that's not for me, and they're like, oh, you're homophobic. And I'm like, no. It's like that's like I support it. It's fine, but it's not
yeah,
for me. I have it's
yeah.
like
It's
yeah, I have my own preferences. Like you said, if they want to live their life, whatever makes them happy, good for them. Like and that's the thing too is like I feel like like people are always like, "Oh, I don't want to hear like gay guys talk about their love life." It's like I don't want to hear straight people talk about
yeah.
their love life.
Exactly. I don't want to
Like,
hear anyone talk about their love life unless it's like literally an intimate conversation with one of my best friends about a personal question I have that I need answers to because I don't know where else to go. And I even consult them in a way where it's like, hey, this is going to be kind of intimate conversation. It's about my love life. I need some help in understanding A and B and C and all the what else is going on there. And then it'd be like that kind of conversation. I don't want someone, no matter what your sexuality is, I don't want anyone to be talking to me about these in hyper detail. They're and in very grotesque ways because I've seen it. Sexuality does not define you being a gooder, like a gooder. God,
more gooder.
my yeah, more gooder. As you can tell, I grew up in a small town for a bit. Uh, no, I don't need anyone of any sexuality to just be like bragging about their sexual conquest to me or their endeavors in their love lives. And it's like there's a time, a place, and a setting for everything, and public conversation piece is definitely not that area. And like I'm kind of like, I'm not against PDA, but I'm against overextended PDA. Like if you want to kiss your significant other, any sexual, I don't care. But like if you're straight up like going way too far with it,
If it
and I'm a
seems
hypocrite.
forced, that's when it becomes uncomfortable. If
Yeah,
it's just
and like,
if it's just like a just a unconscious act of love towards your significant other, it's like, oh, that's like, it's whatever. But it's like
yeah.
if I'm like walking in the mall and there's a couple walking in front of me and he's got his hand down her pants and like grabbing her by the ass and stuff, and they're just like basically having foreplay walking in front of me, I'm just like, huh, I'm gonna go the other way now.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's like, and there's just different settings. Like you're gonna see different stuff at bars and clubs, comparably to like the mall. And if people don't understand how to reserve themselves in a more public daytime setting, like for one, there's kids around. Like I don't want, if I had kids, I don't want my kids being exposed to, like, there's already enough over sexualization in the world that youth is getting exposed to constantly. And like, do I think sex is bad for a young mind? No, they all got to learn it. They all got to understand it, but I don't think it should be so present in their life that they think they need to be gearing up for it at the age of like 13.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think I think society's causing a lot of youth to grow up too fast.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to get into all these deep conversations. This is supposed to be our wacky Wednesday.
Yeah.
But like,
no, it's funny how we went from drive-by shooting to love life and
yeah, oh yeah. Well, dude, honestly,
but also
like,
we went into this episode knowing it was like, it's unscripted. Like literally, like for those of you that have watched these episodes and whatever, I apologize on our behalf that you stuck around this long. God bless your soul.
yeah, right.
But for those of you who are kind of familiar, I guess, with the way I do things, I always have like notes, like that way I know what points to like hit during the episode. I have a blank screen next to me. I literally just have it to jot down timestamps for making clips later. But yeah, this is going to be a very unscripted episode. So if it goes from drive-by shootings to our love life to
a clown making a balloon animal out of meat, I don't know.
Like meat casing.
Yeah. Why not?
Like just take the meat casing and tie both ends and.
Yeah.
I don't know why I sucked in. Usually you gotta blow up like a balloon.
Well, you've never been a professional clown, Collin. It's okay. You have lesson number one. You blow out. We were gonna do a video about breathing, and clearly, we need to do it sooner than later. So, so when you blow up things, remember it's not. It's.
Yeah, shit yourself. That's how you do it.
Yeah, exactly. You just shit in the balloon. All right. Okay, so no, one thing I was going to talk about actually is I want to avoid, and we've already touched we're like poking sensitive subjects. We're like kind of like just tickling the balls of sensitive areas right now. Just like, and then I don't want to go full in and like finger drive into the gooch. So I do want to take
fuck it. It's unscripted. Roll with it. I don't give a fuck.
All right, beautiful. All right, well, so to go into a lighter tone, actually, do you remember any of our trips? Like, you remember that one like Mount Olympus trip we had? It was you, me, CJ. We were all young. Do you remember that?
Like in middle school, a part of a school trip?
Yeah, we were in the wave pool all together.
Yeah,
like, I don't know why that just popped in my head, dude. I just remember that because wasn't there a film crew there for that day?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because they were like filming all of because they for all their commercials and like their advertisements and stuff. Obviously, they have to film it at some point, and I think that's what they were doing that day.
I wonder if our goofy little ugly asses ever ended up on one of those ads or posters. Like, and someone just saw it, like, I don't think Mount Olympus looks that fun anymore. Just walks away.
Yeah. just like little 12-year-old bare ass cheeks walking around.
Just fucking my face just like in the water, just hitting it. Just
we stop, look at the camera. What? I thought it was a nude beach.
Yeah, right.
Sir, you're not. You're the wave pool. There is no beach.
You're the weirdo. I'm a kid, and you're looking at it.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember. It's funny that you bring that up because I just remembered a moment from when we were in the wave pool, and this was when Chris was like fucking like 62
paper?
pounds soaking
Yeah.
wet,
Little piece of paper. Just floats
and
around.
CJ and I being above average people.
Hefty.
Yeah, I remember in the
Strong
wave
boys.
pool, like every time, or there's a couple times when the wave came, that CJ and I would like go underwater, grab a foot, and when the wave came, we'd launch him over the wave, and then we failed a bunch of times, and it got to one point, and we'll have to have Chris on here sometime. God,
Yeah.
I got
Oh gosh, dude.
but he would confirm at one point that our best attempt was we launched him and like the wave was here and it literally he was like just my head was out of the wave and I was just at the top of it like this looking around and then he came back down.
He also was getting thrown so far back too. Like I felt bad because at least I would only get like sent back to like the midline, but he did have to like start over every time a wave hit him. I swear to God, dude, he'd be like he'd be sitting in a chair, like the wave would just like launch him into the chair. He'd just be sitting there.
Yeah, he's just
all
like,
of a sudden like, what the fuck just happened? He's actually in a different pool now.
yeah.
It's like up on top of a water slide. Like, how did I get here? Hanging out of a tree. One thing I remember is like, gosh, there were some very attractive lifeguards there. The women weren't bad either, but
well, you gotta think we were middle school boys. They're probably like high school and like young and like college age.
Well, and they're all from around the world too, dude. I don't know what this is, but
it's such a melting pot that area is.
Yeah. Same with Mall of America. Honestly, I'm sure you've been to Mall of America.
Yeah, I live like we're in 20 minutes away from it where I live right now.
Yeah. Probably not too popular right now, but
no, I haven't been there since COVID, but I've been there at least 5 times in my life.
Yeah, dude, I definitely like when I first went there, it was awesome. Like, so Mall of America, Mount Olympus, if you guys ever are watching and you ever find yourself in the Midwest, those are 2 big points I recommend you check out. Probably 2 of the only points to really check. Now, there's actually a lot to do in the Midwest when COVID's not so hectic anymore.
Yeah.
But, dude, I'm trying to remember who was with me for this. This weird guy came up to me. I can't remember if that was with Austin or if that was with you. It was at night. It was when I was in high school, though. So I think it wasn't you, but I can't remember. So I'll tell the story, and if you think it was you, just tune in and jump into the conversation, not the situation. But so we were walking down the road, right? And all of a sudden, this older dude comes out of nowhere on his bicycle, and he just starts riding around us. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And mind you, this is like 11:30 at night. It's like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. It's weird. And so he just like cycling around us. He's like, "Oh, what are you boys up to?" And he's older. And we're like, well, out for a walk, just hanging out, just chilling." And he's like, "Okay, yeah. So I saw you looking in my window by my house. So I'm gonna tell you, leave my fucking family alone." He just starts going off. And then we're like, dude, I literally live down this block. I'm not going to tell you where my house is because you're fucking crazy, but I live right down this block, and I just walk down this block. I don't know where you're from. I've never seen you in this neighborhood, but I promise you I was not looking through your window. He's like, "Well, just leave my family alone." I was like, "You know what, dude? We're going for a jog now, so fuck off."
Yeah. I definitely wasn't there for that.
Yeah. I'll have to get Austin to recount it sometime. I have another story with Austin that's pretty entertaining. We were hanging out with these couple guys. They had a farmhouse. I was 16 at the time, and I thought it was like, "Oh, it's cool. I'm hanging out with older people." Then I realized, like, oh man, that was dumb. But so what happened was we first get into his room. The guy I was hanging out with, he has a hand taser, and I guess we both had to get tased. He tased me before even saying anything. He opened the door and just tased me right in the leg, and he just like stuck because I had shorts on. He like just jabbed right into my thigh, and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, like, because shocks don't really affect me. I was like, okay, what was that about? And then all of a sudden he grabs Austin and he just tases Austin. And Austin, like, obviously reacted a little bit worse. But he's like, all right, you guys are cool to hang now. And I was like, what does that have to do with anything? What
Yeah,
kind
what
of
the fuck?
qualification is that? Well, they're not. Well, they're pretty much okay with electric shock, so they can hang. But then,
Is that
so
the test for like when you're trying to sign up for something, you have to click the box, I'm not a robot? They were just making
yeah,
sure you weren't like made out of metal. All right,
yeah,
they're
it's
not
like
robots. They can come in.
dude, this tase. Yep, no, he's not short circuiting. He's good. Almost did. So and then, so they hit us a couple PBRs, and he's like, "Oh yeah, everyone who hangs with me has to put their name on my wall." I'm like, "Okay," so I write my name on there, and Austin writes his name, and he put a heart in it. And like, I was like, we were kind of ragging on him about it. I was like, "Why you put a heart in your name, bro? You're goofy." And so Austin gets drunk off like, I think it was like 1 or 2 PBRs. Just gets destroyed. We're 16 at this time, so obviously not the heavyweight alcoholics we are to this day
No,
now. So
PBR is a heavier beer too, so
yeah, yeah, and like I was chilling, and all of a sudden he's like sitting there just being goofy, and he like looks over at the wall. He's like, "Austin with a heart. What a fag!" Like, and also, I know that terminology is offensive, but he's calling himself it. But so he's like, "What a faggot," and we all like look, and we're like looking at him like, "Dude, do you not realize you wrote it?" Like, like we're like, "Bro, that's you."
what the fuck?
And he was like, "Oh," and he just smiles, and then. That same night, he ended up in a banana costume, handcuffed to a pole with a gun pointed at him. But anyways, next story.
Okay.
You like the way I tell stories? It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, you leave them super open ended and then like 2 hours later you just like blurt in and you like finish like a one liner, you finish your story from like 2 hours ago and
I'm gonna keep the audience wanting more.
yeah.
They're gonna be like, banana costume gun.
But no, I was
What?
I was thinking of um it reminded me of Mount Olympus and you weren't I don't think you were there. No, you were I think this would have been my freshman year of college.
I wasn't there.
Okay. Oh yeah, because yeah, yeah. So I was there with like CJ, Lake, Champagne, my old roommate, and then like our significant others at the time. And it was just like a like normal or whatever. No, it wasn't a crazy weekend. We hung out, got a hotel, and we were at the wave pool and we put all of our stuff by a chair. And then when we came back, all of our shit was gone. Somebody stole all of our stuff. So
What?
yeah, yeah, somebody stole all of our stuff. So I ended up losing
No.
my wallet, just my wallet, because they ended up only taking one backpack, and the only reason I lost my wallet was because I put it in the wrong backpack. So like I think
That's shitty.
like Chris or Lake had a backpack, and then I think like Champagne had his, and Champagne got his stolen, but Lake didn't get his stolen. But they were like both blue backpacks, and like when we were like taking our stuff off and like getting ready to go in the wave pool, I was like, oh, my wallet, and I looked down and I thought it was Lake's backpack, but I accidentally put it in Champagne's. So my stuff wouldn't have gotten stolen at all if I would have put it in the right backpack.
No.
Which like it's fine. Like I was I think I only had like maybe $20 in cash. The only inconvenience was having to like cancel my debit card. Like 2 days before, I had just started a new job and they needed my social security card, and I hadn't taken it out of my wallet yet. So my social security card was in there. So I had to cancel my debit card, my social security card. I had to get a new driver's license. I lost probably the most valuable. I probably lost a few $100s in gift cards because I just like for birthdays and like Christmas you get a gift card and you're like cool, you stick it in your wallet, and sometimes you go 6 months, a year, a couple of years, and then you're at the place and as you're pulling out your like debit card you're like, oh shit, I have a gift card for here. Well, I never got that opportunity because they all got stolen. But but yeah, so altogether there's a couple $100s stolen, a few phones, a GoPro. Amanda, Champagne's sister, got her class ring stolen.
Dude, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and And I think and like the worst part was too is the car keys were in there, so we couldn't go anywhere.
The car keys were in there?
Yeah, the car keys were in there, so we were like stuck there, and the it literally only worked out because for whatever reason, my mom and all of her like sisters were also in the Dells. I think we were at Mount Olympus and they were at like Noah's Ark, and so like they were in town the same time we were, so they ended up coming over. I think it was Amy, so it would have been Champagne's mom, had the extra key to get in the car, I think, like with her. So it ended up working
No
out. But
way.
we got a bunch of shit stolen. We talked to security. They're like, yeah, they have a few cameras, but like not enough to. They didn't have like one face in that area. Um, but honestly, thinking about it, the person probably like took the backpack and as they were walking, dug through it, took all the valuable shit out, and then like threw the rest of it into like a garbage can. You know what I mean? So
Oh
like,
yeah.
I didn't think about it until after that. I was like, fuck, we should have like went to like the like dumpsters and garbage cans within like I don't know a 5 minute walking distance of that wave pool because I bet or well I don't know if we would, but there'd have been a chance that we would have found it because I mean, you wouldn't. I feel like you wouldn't grab that backpack and then start walking around with it on. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if we go looking for that person and we see that backpack, like then we know. So obviously, you're gonna get rid of the evidence. You're gonna take all the valuable shit, put it in your own bag, and then get rid of the evidence. So for all I know, some guy who was cleaning up that night found a backpack with my wallet and stuff in it.
Yeah. See, and I have this like I had this bad tendency for a year. Since we're on the topic of wallets, I had this bad tendency for this 1 year while I was in the army. But it was like bad, but it always worked out. I would lose my wallet in like the most obscure places and just expect to be robbed. Like, I expect someone's gonna take my wallet. I think I a total over the span of 1 year, I lost my wallet 13 times.
Holy
Got it
fuck!
back, got it back every time. Every single time I got it back. One of the funnier times was it fell out while we were driving down the road. Because so we were heading to the gate to get on base, and I opened up the door and it slipped out, and I was like, "Well, my wallet's gone. Like, there's no fucking way I'm gonna find it." Because like I didn't realize it slipped out until we got back to the barracks. But then we went back out, and sure as shit, it was still like we actually like usually when you lose stuff going that fast on the road, you don't know where it's gonna land. It's gonna be gone. But I guess my wallet was heavy enough; it just landed in it, and no one like ran it over or anything. So yeah, no, I just got really lucky in those situations. I'm trying to think. I've never had anything stolen from me, like when I've been to a beach or like a wave pool or anything like that, because I'm super paranoid about that happening to me. Because like I'm always keeping an eye on my stuff because I don't trust people. I don't.
Oh yeah.
I
Since that day, I either just pay the fucking $3 to get a locker or whatever. It's like back then, obviously we're dumb. We're just like, oh, whatever. We don't need a locker. But yeah, nowadays I just completely flipped on like my I guess paranoia of people stealing my shit in public areas, especially like for mine and Mandy's honeymoon when we were down in Florida. When we were at the beach, I literally like stood when we went into the ocean. I literally stood like I could like a fucking shark could have came from the depths of the ocean and just fucking. But no, I had to. I was watching towards the shore. I was watching our shit. I was just standing there watching their shit. I'm like, if somebody's coming for our shit, I'm gonna fuck them up.
it's just like a big ass shark just behind you, just like and you're
Yeah,
just like, nope, not looking behind me.
yeah. It's like I
Oh,
can feel you breathing on me. Nope.
nope, it ain't happening. Fuck off, Jaws. You only had 2 good movies.
but
So,
But yeah,
uh,
aside from that, like I've I questionably had stuff stolen from me just over the few years um of not knowing if it was misplaced or if it was actually stolen. And like how I say that is like obviously people misplace stuff and then either within a few days or a few hours you find it again. But there's been stuff that like you don't know where it went and you can't find it anymore, especially like now um there's like stuff that goes missing, but it's like who's gonna steal it? My wife? Like Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I live with like a sketchy roommate or like
Yeah.
a friend who would like decide to steal my shit. And I know both of us have had stuff stolen back in the day. You had your Gears of War stolen.
Yep. Yes, I
Um,
did.
and then the the same person, the one time he came to my house, like two or three of my Nike like pro combat shirts. Excuse me. Fuck my ass.
Bless you.
Um,
Okay.
two or, two or three of my Nike shirts went missing, and it's like, okay, you literally came to my house once. The next day, I was looking like was in my closet and noticed they're gone. And I think the worst part was
yeah.
is that next week at school, he was wearing like my shirt, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Well, it's like, yeah, like if I'm gonna hang out with him, he's gonna play my game. It's like, dude, are you stupid? Like, are you brain dead? Like, you can't just try to pull that shit. And the thing is about my game too is it was a special edition. You couldn't get it anymore, so there's no hiding what you did. Like, and it was just dumb. He didn't think about that shit, but I learned a lot about his home life, and it made a lot of sense. Not justifying what he did, but
Yeah, no, it made sense. It was more of a like obviously like there had to been some guilt, but at the same time when his
you're
parents
raised like that,
well, his
yeah.
parents were basically doing the same thing, and that's how they were getting by. Like, it's whatever. I moved on. That's fucking
Yeah.
10 plus years ago now.
Right? And so I got a funny story for you. So I was in Myrtle Beach hanging out with a couple of my buddies, and so, we're just having fun, typical beach shit. So this story got like the first point of this story that got a little stupid and weird was we were walking down the street, and I don't know what it is with guys on bicycles that always ends up being weird situations, and this is broad daylight. This dude just comes riding up, and it wasn't super weird. I obviously knew what he was about. He started rolling around on us, like with circling us with his bicycle, and he's like, hey, what up? We're like, what is up, stranger? And he's like, you cops? We're like,
Yeah.
I was like, no, like, no, I'm not. Even if I was, I could still say no. And he's like, oh, cool. Want to buy some drugs? I was like, oh no, dude. And he's like, cool. And then he just rides out like it's a casual like exchange. It was like, all right. And then we just kept walking, having a good time. We went and got like stupid little henna tattoos around our belly buttons. Just because we were being dumb. Mine was like it was a chick bent over, and my belly button hole was her butt. And my other buddies was like the Air Jordan. It was his belly button was the basketball, and then I think the other buddies was like a girl's leg spread. But yeah, we were just being stupid with them. And so as that day progressed, we actually ended up. So my buddy Jacob, we ran into his ex-girlfriend. She more like ran into us. She came up and she's like, Jacob, is that you? And as soon as we saw her, we're like, Jacob. So, and like, I don't like to be mean about people, but we knew she was trouble. And so she comes over, they start talking, and he's being all flirty, and it's just like, all right, dude. So later that night, we're playing this drinking game back in our hotel, pre-gaming. My buddy Cody, he's a heavy drinker. He can drink a lot. I could handle his drinking way more than Jacob could. So this drinking game we were playing, I don't know why we had several different liquor bottles. I don't know why we had a Fireball bottle in that. I think it was like when Fireball was like, get it like on the big thing. But we had a bottle of Fireball. And so Jacob started drinking it, and he named some category that he thought I wasn't going to know. So the way it works is the person who's going to drink names a category. The person to their right has to keep naming stuff. The longer they can name parts of that category, that person has to drink. So I think he named something like anime. I think it was anime because I'm not like those guys. Like, I'm not like Brandon, who's like very outspoken with anime, but I do watch it. I do know a lot of it, and Jacob didn't know that about me. He didn't know I knew a lot. And I was like, as soon as he said anime, I was like, you fucked up, bro. And he's like, He like looked and he like I saw the defeat in his eyes right away, and I just started going off like a machine gun, dude. I started naming. He's just sitting there like he drank almost the whole bottle.
Oh,
I only stopped because I didn't want to kill him all the way.
all the way.
Yeah, it was 99%. But so he was able to hang in just a little bit longer, but we were like, all of a sudden he gets a text or a call from this ex-girlfriend of his, and she's like, Jacob, I need your help. And it's like, oh, God. Okay, what is it? And she's like, my current boyfriend, I'm trying to leave because he's a piece of shit and he won't give me my stuff, yada, 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 and, you know, just craziness. And Cody's a really good dude. He's like, all right, we're going to go handle this. And we all got in the car, and we're like, Jacob, you're staying in the car. You're obviously drunk. You're staying in the car. So it's like, we're like, you watch the car. So we go walking around this, like, it's like a gated, like, apartment complex. We get in, and we're like looking around. We don't know where the fuck she's at. And then finally, like, we see her, and we go up, and all of a sudden, we're like, oh, where's he at? And all of a sudden, he, like, pulls up in his truck. And he's, like, gets out of his truck. He, like, walks to the back of his truck, pulls out a duffel bag and a little miniature, like, novelty bat. And all of a sudden, like, he throws the bag down at his feet, and he sees us, and he just starts twirling the little bat on his fingers, and he's like, just staring us down. All of a sudden, Cody's just like, what? And then he's like, all right, like, he's like, I got this. And he's like, he just walks up there. He's like, bro, we're just here for the bag. Give us the bag. He's like, not gonna have any trouble, are we? Just doing this little fucking finger twirling bullshit. He's like, he's like, are you gonna start trouble or are you gonna give us the bag? Cody didn't give a shit. Cody never gives a shit. But so we get the bag back. We bring this girl back to our hotel. And we have the smart idea, not smart at all, but we have the smart idea of leaving her and Jacob alone. And we leave him alone. So we go out to the club. We're waiting in line to get into this club called Senior Frog. And I was young. I was single. I was like, yeah, like, there's a pretty girl behind me. And I was like, didn't even think about this would start a whole conversation. But I turned around and I was like, oh, hey, I like your shoulder tattoo. And all of a sudden, like, there's 7 girls behind her. We're all talking. I was like in heaven, like, you know me. I was like, oh, girls. I was going crazy at that point, and I was just like, holy shit. And I guess it was like the West Virginia tennis team. So there was like girls from all around the world. So I was just like, but this is the problem. Like I said, I was 19. I was underage at the time. But Cody wanted me to get more drunk because I wasn't drunk yet. I only had a decent buzz going. He's like, I'm not getting drunk till you get drunk. And I was like, dude, I'm good. He's like, nope, you're getting drunk. And I was like, I'm good. Please. And he's like, nope. And he got me like double Long Islands. And he just kept feeding. He fed 2 of them to me. And by that, after all the drinking games we've been doing already, I don't remember anything after that. But I guess I drank another girl's, like, she didn't want it anymore. So I just chugged another Long Island. It was a double again. And I ended up getting into a dance-off. Yeah. I got to a dance off, I guess. Did okay. I did all right. Apparently, I don't remember. And then after that, obviously my blood was flowing pretty bad. And I guess Cody was like doing really well with the girl himself. I don't remember any of this. But then he saw me getting escorted out by this big ass dude. He's like, oh shit, Michael's getting kicked out. And like he went outside after like talking with that girl. He like came out. He's like sees me sitting on the bench, and I apparently was just like, Cody, I got kicked out. Like, just super excited. He's like, you sure did, bud. And then he just fucking grabs me. And we end up getting back. So we get back to the hotel. I walked in first, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together in my drunk brain. But, like, the blanket was shifting and moving. Jacob and this girl were in that bed, and the blanket was shifting and moving. Did not like, my brain did not connect the dots here. I grabbed the blanket on the bed and I ripped it all off of them. They're both butt ass naked. And like, there's this awkward silence. I just went, ah! I walked into the bathroom and I have to go, I walked into the bathroom. I stared at myself in the reflection and I blacked out. And I just dropped it. Next morning, not knowing anything about that, like any of that other shit, dude. But, oh man, that was a good time. So that's one of my many drunken experiences. I've also gotten beat with a lightsaber, almost got beat up by like 50 guys. Luckily, my friend saved me because I was super drunk off 2 drinks. Have you ever had that where you had like 1 or 2 drinks, but then all of a sudden it's like you got roofied? Like,
yeah, dude, if I ever like have people over or go out or I'm just hanging out with people and there's drinks involved, if I tell myself I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get fucking drunk tonight, I get like maybe a little buzz, or I don't get drunk at
Yeah.
all. But if I'm ever like, oh, I'm gonna have like a couple and then I'm gonna call it a night, those couple turn into be fucking just on my ass.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's gotta be like a psychological thing where, like, if you're like, oh, I'm gonna get drunk, in your head that means, oh, I need to drink a lot in order to get drunk. So like like physically you're drunk, but mentally you're like, oh, I'm not there yet. I have to keep drinking. But yeah, I know what you mean though. How sometimes it's like you have 10 and you're like, bro, I could drive home right now. And then there's times where like it's like, oh, can you drive? It's like, nah, man, I'm fucked up. And they're like, you only had like 2 beers. You're like, I know.
Be like, you had a Virgin Bloody Mary. I know, dude. I'm fucking wrecked. No. He does know there's no alcohol in that, right? Don't tell him this is hilarious.
I thought they call it a virgin because I haven't had sex yet.
Yeah, right? I thought those were the only drinks I could get. Oh, man, that'd be a cruel world.
Yeah. Speaking of getting drunk, did I ever tell you my story about almost dying when I got drunk?
You have, but I believe you should tell the audience.
Okay. So, this was 3 years ago now. 4th of July's ago, I should say. Up north there, eh?
Up north.
So
hold on, I'll be right back. I'm still listening. I'm just grabbing a drink real quick. So you just keep talking, and I'll be right back because I'm grabbing a tall boy I still have left.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, we go camping every year, whatever, for 4th of July, and then at where we go camping, there's like this sandbar out in the middle of the lake or whatever, and everybody just pulls up their boats, throws down an anchor, and then you're in waist-high water, and everybody's just having a good time getting drunk. So anyway, all of a sudden, it got to the point that I was too lazy to go up in the boat to make my own drinks. So literally anytime I went to the boat, if somebody was up in the boat making a drink, I'd literally say, hey, what are you drinking? And then I wouldn't even listen to what they said. I'd be like, make two. So literally it got to the point that I'd go to the boat and whatever somebody else was drinking, whether it was beer, liquor, mixers, I think I had like beer, tequila, probably Captain. I remember having Summer Hummers, couple shots, probably more than a couple shots. But anyway, it got to the point that I blacked out and I don't remember anymore is there's this giant unicorn floaty that like a couple people were sitting on. And then all of a sudden it turned into like a doggy pile. And then I ended up like on the bottom of it and I'm just like limp. And Pop, Jake Hoffman, he was underneath me and he's like, and he talks about this before too. He's like, dude, I thought you died. He was just like, I was just limp in his lap, and he's like, I literally needed somebody to help, like, get you off of me. So basically, that was the point that people realized, like, I had had enough, and so they tried to get me up on the boat, and it was like a pontoon boat, and if you're standing in the water, the like deck is probably like chest high, so you gotta like jump to get up. But like I was fucked. So like I think like Lake and Champagne or like one or two of them, or if not both of them, like tried to like hoist me up, and like I got like up to like my waist, and then I just went limp. It just face fucked the pontoon boat.
No.
And then I blacked out again. So like so yeah, like I got to like the floaty and it was like spotty, like borderline blacked out, and then like once I like went full fucking like just dead onto it, like that was just like brain damage. And then yeah, next thing I know, at that point I blacked out and I came conscious about 3 hours later and I was in an ambulance. So they were pumping saline into me and I was on my way to the hospital and I like came out of it and I'm like looking around and I'm like trying to figure out where the fuck I am. And I'm like, where am I? They're like, oh, you're in an ambulance. You're on your way to the hospital. Like, we're going to take care of you, though. I'm like, fuck. So So apparently, right before I left, which is why they put me in the ambulance, is they tested my blood alcohol level, and I was at a 0.32. Now, mind you, this was probably an hour to 2 hours after I had my last drink of alcohol. So I was. They say you go into a coma around like a 0.4. Like I was tickling the ball sack of coma. I had to have been because I was a 0.32 an
Playing with
hour
fire at
after.
that point.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to the hospital, whatever. I was there for a couple hours. They ran a couple tests on me to make sure like my organs weren't shutting down. Um, probably the best part about the hospital though was when I got there, and it had to have been from all of the alcohol I drank, the like water and Gatorade they tried to make me drink to sober me up, and then the like 2 bags of saline solution they pumped in me on the way there. I was just like laying there in the bed, and I got like IVs in me and shit. And like I say, a nurse walked by. I'm like, I gotta pee like really bad. She's like, well, we can't unhook you. So she's like, so she like handed me this jug, and it had to have been like at least a 32-ounce jug. So like I like turned to my side and I start pissing in this jug. I fill the fucking jug and I still have to keep peeing. I had like a little bit left, so I just like took the jug, set it down, and then just pissed myself the rest of the way. Like it wasn't a lot, but it was like my shorts were like decently wet from pissing myself because I was like I guess I was just too embarrassed to be like, hey, I need another jug, so I just like set it down and just like
Yeah.
it just finished the rest of it.
You're in a hospital at that point. Who cares, you know? Like,
Yeah.
But I've only blacked out twice in my life, and the situations where I blacked out are both very stupid situations. And I mean, like, this is non-alcohol. I mean, okay, I blacked out more than twice, but non-alcohol related blackouts. One was when I was younger. I was going mudding with my dad and my uncle Jake. So that was when I still had my four-wheeler. That's when I still lived in Coleman. So we were going to, the trails over there, the trails that are by the park right there that were by my house.
Yep.
Yeah, like, so we're going to go mudding around on those little trails right there. So we were taking the four-wheeler. My dad was on that. My uncle Jake, I gave him my good mountain bike, and I was riding my old one that literally had, it used to have training wheels on it. So it's obviously not meant to trail ride. But I was like, you know what? I can power through it. So my dad's just ripping up in front of us. I'm trying to keep up with Jake as much as I can, just like, just power riding this thing. And he makes a sharp turn. And I went to go do this too, but there was a big-ass rock. I hit this rock, and I instantly blacked out before I even made any impact or anything, but I went flipping through the air, I guess. So I launched over the handlebars like this. So this is my head right here. I launched over the handlebars like this, and I like flew like that. So this is my like Superman flying, and then I like went like that, and I slammed into a tree, and I slid down the tree, and I didn't wake up until I was laying upside down against this tree, and I came to, and like my dad and my uncle Dirk were like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, laying upside down, I like kind of fell to my side, and I got up, moved my neck around. I was like, yeah, I'm good. And they just burst out laughing. They're like, what was that? We weren't mudding still, but yeah, no, I blacked out midair, and I just fucking. And then the other time, I was moving grandpa. I was moving a grandpa. I was moving a television out of my grandpa's house. I've never moved grandpas for a living. Sounds like an interesting job, Joe. You just pick up old people at this. I mean, that is a thing. You do move old people.
Yeah.
Assisted living facilities. But no, I was moving this old-ass big TV out of my grandpa's place. And this thing was like one of those big-ass box TVs, like old ones. I was like, I can do this by myself. I was like, I used to be kind of cocky about it. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty strong. I pick up big things a lot. So I grabbed this, and I'm like holding it like this, and I'm going down the stairs, and these are some slippery-ass stairs. I got about halfway down, I was like, you should have thought about this a little more. But I'm already halfway down. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no turning around now. It'd just be pointless. So I go to take one more step. I slip, and I fall, and I back, and I slammed my back into a step, which already hurt enough, and the TV went up in the air like this, and all of a sudden I came down with it, and I just slammed it right on my dick. And obviously it didn't hit. Like, nothing got destroyed down there because it's all saw. I mean, I wasn't walking with a hard-ass boner. I mean, It was during the peak of puberty, but still, I was not hard, thank God.
Well, if you're picking up Grandpa, maybe you did have a boner.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, I do have some of his genes in me, so of course he's sexy. No, but I dropped it on me. This is not where I blacked out, though. I made it down, so there's like a platform, but like there's one staircase going down like this, then there's a platform with a chair and a little stupid table for some reason, and then there's another staircase that leads down to the front door. I made it to that little chair, and all I could think was like, why is this here? But thank God it's here. And then like threw the TV to the side because I was still I didn't let go of it. Then I finally threw it to the side. I sat down in the chair. I took one breath. And all of a sudden, the next thing I remember is waking up on the floor in a little puddle of blood. It was actually this side. This one, I had a little scar right here on my eyebrow. I woke up in a little puddle of blood because I cracked my head on the hard floor. Yeah, I don't know what. I blacked out, and I just I was like, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, I'm waking up on the floor wanting to puke. I was like, just trying to move a damn TV.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Then let's see here.
I feel like we got to talk about some of our old stories to kind of, I guess.
I mean, like what? Like Jake trying to light me on fire or something?
Yeah,
trying to light you
yeah.
on fire?
Well, I was thinking about the sock story. I feel like we got to kick things off with the home run, or do we save the home run for the end?
Oh yeah, save the hammer home run for the end.
Okay.
So some of our little adventures we had. I mean, there was always playing Infection was always fun. Who was it who left us out there again? I think we told this story before once already. We've talked about Infection, haven't we? In one of our prior episodes.
I think we referenced it, but we never like told a full on story about it. But was it you and me that got left outside?
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, and we were in. Okay, so like. Basically, how this Infection came about, it's basically hide and go seek tag. But the reason we called it Infection is because we were big into Halo, how like the Infection on there. And for whatever reason, I had these like toy fingers that had long nails on the end of them, and they like would glow different colors. So basically, if you were the person who was it, you had to wear the hand. So basically, you were like everybody could see where you were, but. So yeah, basically that was it, and like you could like hide it in like your sweatshirt so people couldn't see, and like whatever. But anyway, this was always a tradition at like my parents' house for like my birthday, and my birthday was in December, which my birthday's in 2 days actually, so it's kind of funny that that we're telling this story almost right on par with when this would have happened. But
speaking of, not to interrupt your story, but you doing anything fun for your birthday?
Fuck no. Probably just gonna sit at home and watch movies. And
well, if you want a game at all, dude, birthday.
Oh yeah,
to you.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll definitely be on at some point. Speaking of gaming, and I'm gonna quick say it and then continue to tell my story so you don't judge me. But I re-downloaded Fortnite. So anyway,
where's the leave button? Podcast canceled.
No, I'll
it's just Collin's virtual fuck up now.
Yeah. Now instead of Microsoft's virtual collision, it's just Collin's collision. Because it's Mike's fist in my face.
Oh man, I'll let you have that one. I'll give you that one. I'll let you have this because this means I get one fuck up in the future.
Okay, I will elaborate on my fuck up after I finish this story. But anywho, so. Yeah, about this time of year, it's usually pretty cold. It's like 20s, 30s. We got lucky 1 or 2 years where it was in like the 40s and 50s where we were literally outside in like t-shirts, even though it was December. And we play Infection, and basically one person would have to stay inside. They'd always have to go into like the back storage room because it's like the only room in my parents' house that doesn't have windows, because we knew that the person would just cheat and just watch out the window and be like, oh, that motherfucker's in that tree. Oh, he's over there. So it's like, oh, nope, you got to go in the room that has no windows. So anywho, you count to like, I don't know, minute, 2 minutes, whatever it was. You come out, and then you got to find everybody. Well, it got to the point that Mike, we were sitting together. I can't remember if we were up in it. I think we were up in that tree close to the road.
Side road, yeah. So you had 2 trees that we would climb up there, and we were sitting in those, and we were like, oh, they're never going to find us. We're in such a good spot. Like,
yeah.
like just being all giggly and shit about it.
And then like, and I don't know, probably like for the first like 10, 15 minutes, you could hear people running by, people got tagged, people got caught. And then we kind of, by process of elimination, we realized it was just the two of us left. So like we were devising a plan of like, okay, if we get caught, basically like, okay, I'm going to go this way, you go that way we don't get caught. And then all of a sudden, half hour goes by, and then an hour goes by. And then it was probably close to 2 hours before we're like, I haven't heard anybody in a while. What the fuck? So like we climbed down our trees, and then like we're on the other side of the pond, and we look up, and we're looking in my bedroom window at the guys playing Xbox in my room. So we're just like, what the fuck? So we're sitting outside, got cold, and we go inside. They're like, oh yeah, we got bored, so we just came in. It's like, dude, you left us outside in the cold for like 2 hours.
Like, are we just not important?
Yeah.
Especially when it's your house. Like,
yeah, no kidding.
I definitely loved playing Pong at your house too. You had dude, your parents have such a nice house. It is so beautiful. And I just really enjoyed playing ping pong, and then we played college Pong.
Oh yeah.
I had power, I just did not have accuracy. If I could get him hitting, it would hit, but I 1 out of every 30 hits.
Yeah.
But anyways, elaborate on your fuck up and explain why we do not talk about that unholy game and why you would download it. I want to know.
So I haven't played it in a while. I kind of got out of the Warzone scene. It's been about 2 months since I played Warzone, and I've been kind of had an itch to get back into a battle royale. And really, Warzone and Fortnite were really the only two battle royales I had ever played consistently. Like I played Apex, I played PUBG, but I was just like, that just whatever. That weren't games I felt like getting into. And I had saw rumors because a new season just started today that they're bringing back some of the old like parts of the map from the old map. So, which they did. They brought back like Tilted, they brought back Dusty, they brought back like a handful of old locations, but it still has kind of the new feel to it. So yeah, that's about it. I just basically
I tuned out everything you said because all I felt was intense shame right now for you.
So I'm probably not gonna like it as much as I think I'm going to, but I just figured like if Warzone got their shit together and it wasn't such a buggy, glitchy game that I wanted to just bang my head against the wall every time I played it, I'd probably just stick with that. But it's just been such a shit show that I didn't feel like going back into it.
I'm frankly just burned out on battle royals at this point. Also, just pinpoint it. It's awesome how we came back full circle to video games. Like this whole episode was not even supposed to like it, and yet here we are. But I love it. But the thing is, like, I'm just burned out on battle royals. Period. At this point, because it doesn't seem like any of them can hold their shit together long enough for me to maintain my enjoyment in it. Like, there's obviously good things they do, and I think battle royals are fun. But the formula, no matter how much they try to shift it, it always just starts to feel stale.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Fortnite had it figured out. Like seasons 1 through like 7, 8, it started to go down. Started to be a downfall. But fuck, they had almost a year of seasons that were good. So like, I don't know if there's new developers or like what it came down to, but it's just all of a sudden they went off a cliff, and it's just like they lost a bunch of people, and slowly people are starting to come back because I don't know, whatever. But
I almost think too much popularity can be a bad thing for games sometimes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I know that's a weird statement, but yeah, like, cause like you get people like Ninja and these other like big video game name players who like sit there and like their input all of a sudden means something, and I get it. I understand they're pro gamers or they have such a massive following and they help put these games on the map and on that path of better success. But the thing is, like, I don't think that they should have input into the game no matter how many hours they put into it. I think, yes, it's okay to listen to your fan base, but listen to the majority of your fan base.
Mm-hmm.
That's my perspective. And if obviously those influencers are supporting what the majority is saying, then yeah, they're right part of the majority. It's fine. And sometimes don't be afraid to not budge. You don't have to change a formula that's working for you just because a group is saying they want to see something else. Now, glitches, Warzone, yes, they need to get their shit together. That's why I deleted it. I don't play it anymore because outside of the glitching and the constant cheaters, and also that's on the gaming community itself, though, too. Like the game,
for sure.
Bitches about the game. How about you be a better gamer? There's people out there rooting this game for you. It's not just the game itself. It's other gamers. Check
Hmm.
other gamers. Keep calling them out. Keep reporting them. You're not being a snitch. It's not like they're going to go to jail. You're just getting another asshole off the system. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
and it started getting to the point that it was just such a toxic community where basically almost every day, if not every other day, I was getting like messages on Xbox from like people like, "Oh, like you piece of shit." It's um, like I remember like it started, um, like I was playing like a solo game and it was like there's less than 10 people left. I think there's like 7, 8 people left. And there was like 4 houses that were left in the circle. And I was in the circle, like sitting in the bathroom watching the front door. Guy walked in the front door. I shot him and killed him. And then he messaged me like, "Oh, you fucking camping piece of shit," and blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's the end of the game, dude. So sorry that you like I'm in a house before you. Like I wasn't sitting here all game. I literally was sitting there for like 2 minutes. He's like, "Oh, you fucking camping?" It's like, well, I'm not gonna walk around outside like your dumbass. Like, guess what? If I wasn't sitting in that bathroom and killed you, you would have moved and sat where I was standing and did the exact same thing to whoever walked into that door next. So it's like,
I hate camping call out culture because it's like you do realize Warzone is a whole different beast compared to multiplayer. I get it. Campers can be frustrating in multiplayer. It's a small base map, it's whatever. But you should have the mentality to know if the circle's closing in and there's a building and you took a while to get into the circle, guess what? That building's probably occupied.
yeah,
Don't blame the other gamer who was smart enough to get to that point before you or just had the luckiness to be there. He acts like camping's not common in Warzone. Almost everybody camps at some point. You take breaks to grab loot. Like, what does he do? Just run around like he's on crack the whole time?
yeah,
Probably why he didn't catch that win. Like that. No, like get out, dude. Those people piss me off. It's like, dude, I get it. Multiplayer, small maps, frustrating. It can be a little bit difficult because they can lock you in. It's the they can literally just have one point and they just got to shoot because they know someone's coming around that corner and they can just kill them before even that person has a chance because there's just little issues with the map rendering. But in Warzone, that's a whole different thing. You got a whole ass map.
hmm,
There's so many places to go. You don't, and if the circle's closing in, you got to. That's called strategy at that point. It's not camping. Like how many fucking times have we ran into snipers? You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
especially when the circle's closing up on those tall cliffs. Like there would always be a sniper team up there, always, and that's just smart. I never
hmm,
discouraged them from doing it. I was never like, well, they totally are cheating or exploiting or camping. Like no, it's like holy shit, they got my ass. They lasered me. It's
yeah,
as simple as that. Or
yeah.
I fucked them up.
Yeah, that's why it's like um uh that's why I don't like I'm skeptically doing it, but like also going back into like the Fortnite and I played like one match of it earlier just to kind of check out the new map, but it was like just thinking back to it, it was toxic in the sense of people who are just like this guy's really good and this guy's really good and it's just a lot of shit talk. So it's just like that's the toxicity of like Fortnite. I feel like it's not, you don't get a lot of cheaters. If there's a guy that's camping, like there's not really camping in Fortnite because if you see a dude camping in a box, toss some frags at him, he's fucked. Like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, so it's like as much as I've just had this bad stigma of Fortnite for a long time. I feel like it's going to be a nice change until they do something different and I hate it again. I'm not feeling optimistic about it, but um, I don't know. I'm always down to try new games or revisit. Like I haven't touched Fortnite in almost 2 years, or at least a year, probably closer to 2 years. So it's like it's gonna feel like a new game to me, and I'm
I
okay
got
with that. But
I guess for me, it's like I started playing Fortnite right when it first came out. I never made it past season one. I didn't like the game. I never enjoyed the game, and I was not bad at it in the beginning. I was pretty good. I just never liked it. I just like I had a moment where I was like, yeah, I'll play this for a little bit. And I used to play with some friends here and there, but then after that, I was like, nah. I never expected it to become what it was. And like I call things wrong like that sometimes. Like usually I have a pretty good perception of these things, but that one was the one I was big wrong about. I was like, there's no way this game's ever gonna blow up. And all of a sudden, like, I don't know what it did or who did it for them,
but Fortnite just became this iconic game now, and it's like I'm still sitting here shaking my head how, because I don't think the game has any tactfulness to it, but you also got to remember what I come from. I enjoy lore, and I enjoy interesting mechanics. I didn't enjoy the kind of I didn't like the cartoonishness of it. I've never liked that in those kind of shooter games, though. The only cartoonish game I've ever liked like that is Borderlands, and that's a whole different kind of game concept. There's a lot more lore to unpack there, and it's just more personally fits me, and that's just because Fortnite's never catered to a gamer like me. And do I hate on other people who enjoy it? No. I will give you shit though, because you're my friend and I love fucking with you.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just jotting down a note. But yeah, kind of
Mike's a dick because he doesn't like Fortnite.
Yeah, that's what I put down. I'm like, fuck Mike.
Just write notes real quick.
But yeah, kind of getting back into our stories of kind of back in the day, kind of tell a couple more here and wrap things up. We've been talking for over an hour, and I feel like it's been like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But so yeah, kind of going back to just some of our crazy stories, and a lot of them revolve around our friend Jake that both of us have kind of fell off with more recently, just because, for one, he lives in a different state. Like, we live in Wisconsin, he lives in Michigan, and the only time that we really ever communicate with him is on Xbox, and it's like he's just one of those online friends, kind of, and it happens. Like, not everybody who has the same circle of friends in high school stay together, and honestly, there's only two that I've drifted away from, and he's one of them. And CJ was the other, but now I'm starting to kind of get more into contact with him again. But anyway, so kind of going back into some of these stories, there's a lot of like unnecessary, just like every time we hung out with him, it was like a fucking episode of Fear Factor.
I just love the fact, and I will always love it, because like people would always so they'd see Jake and they'd be like, Jake's obviously the good one, like parents would, and they'd see me and they're like, oh, he's obviously the troubled kid. And it was the reverse switch. It was always Jake who was always trying to do chaotic shit, and I was the one who was always like, guys, this is dumb. We shouldn't do this. Like, let's just, do normal fun stuff. And Jake's like, I want to light you on fire and see how it smells. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I was kind of in the middle. Like, I'd let stuff happen, but like before it got to the point that property was getting damaged or people were getting hurt, then I'd be like, okay, let's stop. But I always let it tickle that point a little bit, where I'm like, all right, this is fun, but let's take it back a notch a little bit. But yeah, I can't remember who did it, and I wasn't even there when it happened. Is when some of the guys were at Jake's dad's shop, and Chris got hit with a slingshot. I think it was Jimmy who hit, or no, it was Jake who hit him, because Jimmy was holding the ladder. Like, there's a little like porthole in the top of the shop with a long ass, like probably 20-foot ladder, and Chris like got dropped off or whatever. So Jake was like sitting up there, and he was like basically sitting on the roof. Chris got dropped off, and he was like walking behind the post office, and he had a slingshot, and he had little fucking like pebbles that he was launching at him. And like Jake missed the first one, and Chris was like looking around like he heard it, and then he finally sees him up there, and then he shoots him again, and I don't know where he hit him, but like obviously it hurt. So Chris's first inclination was he grabbed the lead pipe and he like hit the post office and took like a chunk out of the wall. So it's like, what? Yeah, I bet you next time we're in COVID, we got to go check it out. I know which corner it is and exactly where it was. Unless they fixed it, there's a good probably 4 to 6 inch chunk by like probably almost an inch divot where you just hit the corner of the post office and a chunk of concrete came flying off of it.
So I don't know if you can see it, but hold on. I'm trying to figure out the best way to show this. You see the color distortion right there on my thumb? Great. It's not going to come through the camera too well. I'll send you a picture of it so you can see it. That's from Jake's CO2 fucking airsoft handgun. Because it's also partially my own stupid fault, because like, there's no way it's that strong. I was like, there's no way that thing hits that hard. And he's like, oh, yeah, you want to find out? And then he shot me point blank in the thumb.
Yeah, he did that to me too once. So we're in his apartment. We're just standing, and then all of a sudden walks up behind me. He's like, ass pop. And he like put the barrel to like my ass cheek and shot it. It scared the fuck out of me.
Don't get me wrong. He can have his fun moments, but it's like he just didn't have limits.
No,
it's like,
if it ever went too far, it was his doing.
I think the thing is too, it's like I don't think he like if anything impacted him, he instantly shut down. He was not okay with it. Like if he was the one getting lit on fire or anything like that, and it never was. But if it
No, because it was always his idea. Yeah, it was always his idea because it was his idea. So either he did it, or because it was his idea, he made someone else do it.
Yep. And it's like it will never be like he's like, oh yeah, you should do that, and he knows it's stupid, and he knows there may be a possible bad result because he finds it hilarious, and it's like, no, do it yourself. You want to find out what will happen.
But yeah, there's a few stories where it's just like just dumb stuff that like obviously back then it was more or less we did it just because why not, and just to like
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's hard to think of like my mindset like 10, 15 years ago now of to like why I did the things I did. Like obviously I'm here today. Like I haven't lost any lip fingers. I haven't lost any limbs. I'm pretty mentally stable for the most part, but I don't know.
You know, one thing I actually remember about Jake from elementary school. So you know Eric Malecki, right?
Oh yeah, I remember him.
So I can't remember if Eric did this to Jake or vice. I'm pretty sure Eric did to Jake, but Eric, I think, pulled down Jake's hat over his eyes and hit him. And then Jake pulled his hat up, and he thought I did it. Yeah. And then I saw Eric hiding under the slide when I was walking by because I got like partially. I explained to him it wasn't me, and I didn't get in trouble for it. But yeah, no, Eric was like hiding under the slide. But yeah, no. I say we should end now with the hammer story. I'll let you jump into that.
Okay, so yeah, it was another night in old Coleman, Wisconsin. All 820 of us. Even though I think it was like half of that, because I don't think I've ever seen more than 100 people, 100 different people in that town at one time.
No,
but anyway, we were hanging out, and the cool thing of Jake's dad had a bus. Like an old, yeah, it had like an old like school bus that he like gutted out, and he put like couches in it. In the back was like a sleeping area, and they like took road trips down to like Florida and stuff with it back in the day. And when they obviously weren't using it, it was just parked outside the apartment or by his dad's shop, which was a couple blocks away from where they lived in town. And so there'd be nights that we would, instead of sleeping in the apartment, we would either sleep out in the treehouse or in the bus. And like it was dark out at the time or whatever, and I think we all had like just arrived because we all had our backpacks and stuff yet.
Yeah.
And basically what happened is I still had my bag on me, and I think you did as well. Like half of us were already there and half of us weren't. So like we were like walking up to the bus, and Jake had saw a group of kids over behind the private school that was in town, and like we knew who the kids were. We knew that they were up to no good. They're troublemakers. They like to do drugs and just like get into trouble, even though we were all like in seventh, eighth grade.
Yeah, right.
So he sees him. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go say hi." And we're like, what the fuck?" So like we're all standing by the bus, and Jake walks over there, and he's gone for like a couple minutes, and all of a sudden he comes back, and he's just off his fucking rocker. He's like running around, arms flailing, like screeching and yelling and like going crazy. So all of our inclination was, oh my god, this dude just went and did fucking drugs with him, and now he came back. So like all of our like prior to that, we put all of our stuff on the bus. So like he was like going crazy and stuff, and then like we all ran off the bus, and then Jake goes onto the bus and he comes out and he's holding a hammer, and we're all standing like across the street, which is probably like, I don't know, 50-ish feet away from him at the bus. And all of a sudden you hear him like under his breath go, "The Lions." They're like, "What the fuck?" And all of a sudden he just yeets the hammer at us. And we step out of the way, and it hit like between all of us, and it took a chunk out of the curb in the street. So we're like, "Oh my fuck, this dude just threw a hammer at us." So we're all like panicking because we're like, okay, this dude's on drugs. He threw a hammer at us. He's going to try to kill us. So like
Not to mention, because I'm pretty sure he was butt-ass naked at this point.
not yet. Not yet. He was still.
I thought he was butt-ass naked when he had the hammer. I'm pretty sure he was. Or did he pick it up a second time? Because I could have swore he was butt-ass naked with the sock on his, when he had the hammer. I swear to God.
Well, that was when he was chasing us around town. So that's like the next part.
How far did we run?
Yeah. So anyway, like he threw the hammer at us. No, you're good. You're good. I'm glad you're filling in parts that I'm leaving out. But anyway, he threw the hammer at us. We're all freaking out. He goes back on the bus. So we're all like, we need to all get our shit and get out of here. Like, we didn't know where we were going to go, but we knew that we didn't want to be there with him. So we go into the bus, and I think at this point, this is when he was naked. Because he was laying face down on the couch. He's butt-ass naked. And we're like, what the fuck? Now he's naked. So we all grab our stuff, and he's just like breathing heavy, and like he just laid there. We all quick went in, grabbed our backpacks and stuff, and ran. And we ended up running to Cassandra's house, like across town.
Yeah, you gotta give it to him. He is committed to that shit, though.
Yeah, so we ran to Cassandra's house, which is probably like a 10-15 minute walk away.
Dude, we did, didn't we? Holy fuck.
Yeah, that was like halfway across town that we walked.
Oh my God,
and
bro.
we didn't know where to go or whatever, and for whatever reason, it might have been you because you're related to her, like, Cassandra lives over here, I think she's home. So we go over there, and we're like in her living room sitting there, like explaining what's going on. We're like freaking out. And then all of a sudden there's tapping on the window. And then,
he followed us. Oh, my God.
Yeah, he followed us all the way there.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah,
shit.
He was, following us from, the shadow. We didn't notice he was following us, but he had to have been because he knew we were there.
Yeah, there's no other way unless, somehow Cassandra messaged him for whatever reason.
Yeah, but anyway, there's tapping on the window, and we, pull the drapes, and he's standing there, butt-ass naked, with nothing but a sock on his dick. And he I remember he shrieked, and then he ran away, and he was in the street, and then whoever lived next door, it was this older lady, came out and was screaming at him that she was gonna call the cops. So then that was when he cut the gimmick, yeah. And yeah, basically that he stopped because he got yelled at by some lady, and then I don't know what we ended up doing the rest of the night, but
I think it was everything got normal after that, which you think about that's only a kid's mind could just psychologically just be like, yeah, no, I still want to hang out. But if we would have been adults, I'd have been like, hell fucking no, I'm going home. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm going home to my bed. Fuck you. I'm going to go play some video games or watch movies. I don't need this shit in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we ended up hanging out with him after that. But no, you got to give it to him though. He committed to that role, and there's a certain appeal to that craziness he brings. The only problem is that it gets dangerous. It gets too dangerous, and that's the only thing. That's the only reason. I felt like we kind of grew distant, and I've become this person who's I love to have fun. But if it's going to cause someone legal troubles or lifelong damage or issues, I don't want that involved. Temporary pain, if you tase me, that's fine. I don't care. A light taser. I don't need you to shock me till I piss myself. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you want to give me a light tase or something like that, or just something silly, like throwing a egg at my head, that's not going to kill me. I'm going to be mad, but it's not going to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's stuff along those lines. It's all right, that's just shenanigans. But some of the things are almost borderline. Like this could kill you or get you killed.
Yeah. And thinking about it more recently, like his like borderline like violent like psycho tendencies kind of went away to a point. And I was just thinking now that it hasn't really gone away completely, because I was just thinking of back in March or February when we went and visited in Milwaukee, and he came up with that game. Remember that game he explained to us, where him and his friend Giles like put together? It was like a multi-page like rule book of this game, and essentially it was like,
and the game was cool, but there were some cards that were very dangerous.
Yeah, and like very dangerous to the point of like somebody getting hurt, or just like putting somebody in a dangerous situation. Like I remember one of the cards, which I was like, no, this is fucking stupid, was basically the game was, there's like 3 levels to it, and as you went up a level, the cards got harder, like the challenges became more difficult, and either you did the challenge, which would be either physically or mentally like stressful and like a toll, or you dealt with the consequence, which was getting he had a taser, right? Yeah, he had a taser.
Yeah, he had a taser.
So you had to get or cow prod. The cow prod.
Cow prod.
Yeah, so you had to get cow prodded if you didn't do it or whatever. And the card that I was like, no, this is fucking stupid, this is going to turn into somebody getting hurt, was the card was you had to like take a piece of paper or like and like a clipboard and a pen, and we had to go knock on one of his neighbor's doors, say that we were a sex offender that just moved into the area and we needed their permission to move into the building. So it's just
no,
we're in Milwaukee, not a good part of Milwaukee either, and like no, I'm not gonna go knock on some person's door and be like, hey, I'm a sex offender, is it okay if I move into your building? I need you to sign this paper. Like, and a lot of the other ones are just like just physically grueling, where it got to the point of like all the same stuff we talked about from 10 years ago, he still was entertaining the idea of, and this was 7 months ago, 8 months ago, and it's like, what the fuck? Yeah. So it's just like, as much as like he gets embarrassed like talking about these stories, and like the new friends he's made, we're like, oh, has Jake told you stories back in the day? He gets all like all embarrassed
about it. Yeah,
he gets defensive and all embarrassed. But then he comes up with a game like that, and it's just like, how, fine, if you don't want to talk about it and you want to be innocent about it, then don't still play your little games. But
and I encourage him to be who he is. I love it when he's him. For all the psychopathic tendencies, that's my Jake. That's the Jake I know. That's the Jake I grew up with. And like, yeah, there was lines that he would cross, but at least he was so happy being who he was, and we checked him when it got too far. We were kind of like that foil for him, and at least he seemed like happy doing that. Instead of like, I'm sure he's happy with this new life he's established for himself. He seems happy. He seems to really enjoy himself. But it's just like, if there's that part of him that wants to have that like mischief side of him, that risk taking, jokey side, like don't be burying your past. Live it, own it. It's not like if everyone judges you for it, that's on them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ashamed of anything that's behind me. I've made my mistakes. We all make mistakes. We all grow and we all get better. Do I need to bury my past? No. I also just stuttered there.
Yeah. No, I agree. We've all changed in some ways, but we're also all the same people that we were 10, 15 years ago. Deep down.
I got stuck doing machine gun sounds. I was thinking because I stuttered on do. I was like, what were you saying about us being kids still inside? No. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm pretty mature. Yeah, I think I'm still pretty mature. I think I was more mature as a kid than I am as an adult, to be honest.
I mean, you're like, your appearance wise, yeah. You've looked at, dude. You look the same. Not even fucking joking, dude. I'm not even joking. Okay, people have changed. People have changed. I could show you a picture of me fucking 10, 15 years ago, and you'd be like, oh, I could kind of see it. Whatever. He's matured. You look at this motherfucker. He hasn't changed.
I came out the womb just like this, little facial hair and everything.
I'm pretty sure you've been 5'7" since like 4th grade too.
I was.
You haven't changed. You haven't grown.
I was big as fuck until freshman year. And then, like, obviously I was still bulky, but then all of a sudden everyone just kept getting bigger and bigger, and I was like, wait, what's going on here? The size scale's not adding up anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still like, but, you know. But no, hey, man, just means that if there's anything that falls from the sky, you're going to feel it first.
I guess I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, so if it's raining, you're going to be like, oh, it's raining. I'll start running for the first second. Like, oh, no, I don't want to get wet.
I got about 10 minutes before it's going to hit me.
Like, Went into a little mouse hole. I think that's a good place to end the episode.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure we'll kind of every once in a while we'll come back and these
no filter episodes. We'll do these where we talk about random topics. I like this idea actually, and I think you like this idea. We'll stick with our theme concept, but if you guys like hearing us just go on rants and just talking about aspects of our life, just let us know.
For sure. Yes. All right, man. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been fun. It's even been real fun.
It's been fun. It's been real. It's not been fun real, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. But it's been real fun.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, dude. Sure.
All right. Well, Friday we're gonna kind of change gears. We've been doing franchise Fridays every Friday. We're gonna we're gonna kind of switch gears this Friday. We're gonna do a faction Friday. So we're gonna pick a faction from a video game and talk about them. So we'll probably start alternating every Fridays. Talk about a game title one Friday, and then the next talk about a faction from maybe that same game or from a different game. But motherfuckers, we like different content, and we hope you do too. So fucking deal with it.
Also, we're going to be doing another thing that I just thought of its name. We're going to be doing Fucked Up Fridays. If you guys want to see us watch The Gauntlet, if you don't know what it is, look up the concept. Don't look it up itself unless you want to see something very vulgar. We're going to start doing things called Fucked Up Fridays, and I'm going to be drunk for it because it's Fucked Up Friday. Or, well, drunk. And so we're going to be like, if you want to see our reactions to extreme content or you want our breakdown of it, just let us know because we're more than willing to indulge you.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm always down to fuck up my brain even more than it already is.
Yeah, right? Let's see how much further I can push myself into the void of hatred about like all the evils of humanity.
By the end of it, we're going to have completely different names. Like, we're not even going to... Oh, we're not even
calling me.
Oh, Pop.
Hello, Pop. What are you up to?
I got a raid here.
Oh, a raid? 5.5
minutes. 5 star.
All right, you want to invite me and Collin?
Yeah. Can you tell Snowman about it?
Yeah, I'll let Joe know.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye. He doesn't know he's in our podcast right now.
Pokemon raid?
Yep, so be on the lookout for that.
All right, sounds good. Well,
all right.
I'll end things here, and I guess I'll be looking for your raid. So.
All right, beautiful. Well, not mine. Pop's, apparently.
Oh, yeah. And with that, signing off.